Hello, everyone. It's Jamie here from LineZero. And recently I've been getting conversations or questions being asked around future of work and specifically how to stay ahead or what's it going to change or how does my business need to respond to this? Is it ready right now? Those types of things. And so I think when we think about the relevance of future of work, and when I say future of work, I mention things like mixed reality, virtual reality. I think of things like artificial intelligence and AI, those types of future forward technologies and what their influence is going to be or impact is going to be on our business. I think a lot of that is we don't know yet, but we can probably make some good educated guesses. So when we think about mixed reality, for example, there are presumably a number of use cases that will for sure have an impact on our business and create opportunities for us. Both internal and external. I'll just give you a couple of examples to stir the mind, so to speak. So when we think about internally, I know one of the most frustrating things about working with technology is calling IT support, for example, and doing that. And I think all of us are much more comfortable kind of walking down the office, if we're actually at the office, but walking down to, Sarah or Jimmy or whomever, and physically, passing them your device and showing them what's going on. And that interaction is much more comfortable and pleasant than dialing a number and talking. Even if it's a video chat, it's still not as pleasant. I think with mixed reality, for example, that's going to create opportunities that allow you to do things like show your actual device almost as if that person's sitting side by side, so they see everything that you see, not just your screen, but they see your setup, they see your desk, they see everything that you want them to see. And so they're able to provide feedback or guidance, even support for your mobile device, as an example, that sometimes is very hard to do. So I think mixed reality inside the business, I think will create lots of interesting opportunities. That's just one from a support perspective. There's other instances like training and support for customers. When we think about what the impact might look like externally to customers, right? I think of it the similar way. The future isn't written, right? But when we think about mixed reality is just another way for us to engage an audience, right? And we're engaging an audience in a different way than before. We're doing it in 3 dimensions versus 2. So it creates a lot of opportunity to create immersive experiences. So depending on what your business is and how you interface with your customers, that might create lots of interesting opportunities to engage with them in ways that right now are very difficult or impossible, or allow you to create campaigns or even provide service to your customers in ways that right now are not possible. And so I think that, business by business, you need to look at that. But in terms of how to stay ahead and prepare, it's as you go through, your day to day. I don't think there's any guidance to go and rush to do something right now. But as you are going through your strategic planning, for example, I think it's always relevant to ask yourself questions like, can technology enable something here, right? Is there a way to automate this? Can we take whatever this business strategy is and amplify it through the use of technology, right? Those types of open-ended questions and kind of keeping that in the back of your mind, I think will allow you to take advantage of this without actually knowing specifically what we're trying to solve for, and just make sure that you're not missing an opportunity. Because I think it's very difficult now to say, this is how to go and think about this for all businesses. That's just not realistic. I think all of this will be specific and unique to an organization, at least to start, until the use cases become normalized and people understand how this all works for them. But to make sure you don't miss an opportunity to be a leader, for example, in some new experience, is to make sure that those types of self-questions and thinking is present when doing strategic planning. The last thing I'll say is it's often not one technology by itself that leads to innovation or a difference inside of your organization. It's usually the convergence of multiple technologies, right? So when we think about electric vehicles, for example, the whole notion for electric vehicles is quite fascinating, and it's going to be, it's already transitioning into an electric world. But in order for electric vehicles to really be powerful, it required, batteries and battery capacity to be sufficient. And mobile charging, so it needed an infrastructure like gas stations, but battery gas stations to be present before it kind of hit a tipping point. And so when you think about the electric vehicle revolution, it required both battery and infrastructure advancements in order to actually support that momentum. I think future of work will be similar in that it's going to be something like computer vision, the ability for a camera to analyze an environment, have AI interpret that in some capacity, and then immerse yourself in that inside of virtual reality. For example, those types of scenarios are really what's going to transform, how we work, how we provide services to our customers, etc. So it's recognizing that it's not often just a single technology. Usually it's multiple technologies converging together at the right time that truly allows for the breakthrough. So again, keeping that in mind as you go through your planning,